Hey guys, I thought I'd give a short commentary of a recent competition flight. This was Program 2, my second flight of the competition, the first unknown program. You can see me diving in here with wing rocks to start the sequence. The first figure is a leaning Humpty with a positive half snap on the way up, also known as a stiff dick, or a donkey dick for my Aussie friends. Thanks Misty! Really happy with the snap, it was explosive, it was on heading, stopped nicely and the lines were well balanced, so a good figure overall and a nice way to start the sequence. Next, we're into the square loop with an 8-point hesitation roll on the top. These can be quite difficult to get perfectly square, and I didn't help myself by failing to pull the power back, so I'm drawing quite a long line on the top here. Now I probably could have made this line a bit longer too. Next, we pull to the vertical for a stall turn, or a hammerhead for my friends across the Atlantic. I stuffed this up and I let the nose tuck under a little during the pivot. Fairly happy with the 3/4 pos snap on the way down, good initiation and the stop was clean and on heading. I'm now flying towards the front of the performance zone, or box, so quickly up into the vertical for the next figure. A good 3/4 roll back onto the main axis before pulling onto my back for an inverted 45 line. And there's a 2 of 4 on the way back down here. Now we have a push Humpty, or negative Humpty, with a 2 of 8 on the way up. I over-rotated both of these, but I can correct for that in the push over the top. Slape isn't the easiest airfield to compete at. You can see there's several crisscrossing runways and it can be quite easy to come out in the wrong heading sometimes. So now I've done a 3/4 roll on the way down, I'm back on the main axis, and the next figure is a loop with a 4 of 8 on top to finish inverted. I started these rolls a bit too early and I finished by the apex of the loop, so they were not very well balanced. That's another one to improve for next time. This figure is a half Cuban. There's nothing special here, it's just a linking figure to set me up nicely for the following figure. These are useful to assess the box, reposition and take a moment to breathe. They tend to be fairly easy and allow you to get yourself in the right place for the next figure you're going to fly. Now I'm pulling up to the vertical for a P loop. There's a 2 of 4 on the way up, accurate, fairly happy with these. And then at the bottom of the looping segment there's a 3/4 roll followed by a 2 of 8 in the opposite direction. Now I'm not particularly happy with these. The 2 of 8 were pretty messy, bounced a bit and they were quite rushed, so that's another thing to refine. This next one's just another linking figure. It sets me up nicely for the tail slide that's coming next. Now I've gained a bit of height here so far, so I'm going to make this radius pretty large, using this figure to reposition and come down towards the bottom of the box. Okay, now we're climbing for a canopy up tail slide. There's a small cheat coming in here to encourage the plane to swing in the right direction once it starts falling backwards. I'm now looking for the string on the wingtip to change direction, but I can see the left wingtip starting to drop a bit more, so I corrected that with some rudder. Ideally I'd have fallen backwards a little bit longer before pivoting, but that's competition pressure for you. Next, we have a half loop up, and there's a 1.5 roll at the top, followed by a 1.5 turn snap in the opposite direction. The stop on this roll isn't great, it's a bit soft, but I'm pretty happy with the snap. It finishes well, it stops with wings level, and I've got my heading exactly where I need it to be. The final figure is a 180-degree turn with 2 full rolls, starting and finishing inverted. Stupidly, I misread the sequence on the ground. I'd convinced myself that it was meant to be an outside roller, where in fact it was meant to be an inside roller. So I rolled opposite to the direction of the turn instead of with it. Hard 0, no points for this figure. A disappointing way to end this sequence. I didn't even realise until I was back on the ground. Hope you enjoyed that. See you next time.